Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to this session. Today, I am channeling for a very special guest, the incredible Alex Tripod. Now, Alex and I have known each other for quite a long time now. We were also each other's clients for years, and we're best friends now. So, we've had beautiful merging of timelines and adventures that we've been on as well. And as you know, today is a session where I channel for light leaders. And if you've watched some of the past episodes, you would have seen that it was more, I actually call them spirit business mapping sessions, because we're working with spirit guides to map out your business, your highest timeline, your abundance. But with Alex, because I've channeled her for her so many times and I know her spiritual team so intimately, we're actually going to be doing it differently today. So I'm going to be trance channeling her councils of light, and it's going to be a little bit different from the other episodes, and it's just going to be fully surrendered to whatever messages need to come through for her for this time. And before we get into that, before we begin all the channeling and all of that, I'd love for Alex, if you could introduce yourself and just share a little bit of, I know everybody listening to this probably already knows you, but just for those who may not have heard of you, if you could introduce yourself, please.
Firstly, I'm so excited for today, and thank you for having me on. So I'm a manifestation and business coach. I am literally obsessed, like obsessed with this. I will do this until the day I die. And it is my mission to raise the vibration of humanity on a global scale. And really, my mission is to help people understand that they truly are co-creating their universe, their hologram. And when we can understand, like for me, when everything changes, when I started to understand the science behind manifestation, and even though I like going into the galactic realms and really understanding that, for me, having my logical brain understand what's going on actually motivated me to do the tools and be consistent with the manifestation processes that changed my life 9 years ago. And to go from, someone that didn't believe in themselves, had low self-worth, was drinking every weekend, had no purpose, living 9 to 5, paycheck to paycheck, to a reality now where, like, frankly, it's insane, just the impact, the abundance, the light leaders I'm working with. I truly believe that, anyone equipped with the right tools, the right accountability, and a strong enough why that's just beyond their human ego desires, anyone can transform their lives radically. And that's what I'm standing for. I really stand for helping creating a new paradigm, the new earth, the fifth dimension, whichever language you want to create, which is really just creating heaven on earth. And it all starts from within.
Amazing. I love that so much. I love that. Thank you for sharing, Alex. And I've known you for quite a few years. I followed you online for a while, and then Spirit said to me, Athina, go attend Alex's event. So I did. And then I remember I loved your event. I was like, this woman is amazing. And I just saw everything that was going on energetically, that people weren't just learning from their mind, but it was like this huge transference of energy. And you were literally downloading, uploading information to us. And I thought it was really cool. And we had that chat, and I was like, yeah, the Lyrians, like, you're so strongly connected. And you're like, okay, kind of like tickled something. And that you then decided, okay, I want Athena to channel for me. And we began to work with your spiritual team, and I hired you as well for business coaching. And so there was this really beautiful exchange. And I believe through it as well, you were able to develop like a higher or deeper connection and intimacy with your spiritual team. I would love to ask you, or you to share a little bit about like what has that been like with your business to have a relationship with your spiritual team.
Yeah, yeah. So the biggest thing working with you was I had been in the, like, I guess, spiritual galactic realm. I'd been in it for years. And it's so interesting that you came along and then you named my team like the Lyran Tribe of Elders. And I had no idea. And I remember after half-hour session, I took like 3 days to integrate it. I was so crying because I felt this resonance of home. And for me, it was so beautiful. It was a coming home, like a deeper sense of like, I've always known I have a big mission, but for it to be validated and to
Mm,
feel like this truthness of it, I was like, okay, I'm not going fucking crazy. And yeah, like for me, that was the biggest thing. And to be so seen by you, to be so seen in the bigness of my mission. Cause it's like, how do I explain how big my mission is to people? And you fucking got it and you saw it and you channeled it. And then really helped me also realign to my highest timeline, and anything that is not fully like manifestation or what I'm truly here to teach, and whatever wasn't in alignment, like it just like had to dissolve, which was an interesting period because for about 2 months there, I had nothing to sell because I was shutting down all my old programs for the new aligned stuff to come. And thank God I had such a high money buffer because I was like, what do you mean? I've got nothing to do with business, you know? So that was one of the scariest things working with you. But holy shit, I
okay.
could definitely say because of working with you and having that connection and feeling that resonance and getting back onto my highest timeline, like horse blinkers, nothing else. That's what really helped me shift into multi seven figures. I truly believe.
Mm, yeah. Amazing. Thank you for sharing. I love that. And I also know that you, or maybe you don't anymore, but you connect with your spirit guides every day, right? Like it's a part of your practice, it's part of your daily connection.
Yep. Yep. So
Amazing.
I think for while I was working with you, full transparency, it, I had like, it's almost because I had Athena in my pocket. I would trust my downloads, but I'd always want it to be checked or validated. Was my team think? And now that we're no longer in a coach client container and we're just besties, I'm now going even deeper into daily practices of calling in my team, calling in my higher self, and truly trusting the truth and the downloads and the wisdom that I'm receiving. And so it's a whole new journey being out of the container with you. So it was like I loved being held, and now I'm being even more deeply initiated to connect with them on a daily basis, which I think I got a little bit lazy with, if I'm being honest, when
Mm.
I had you in my pocket for 2 years.
I love that. And I'm so happy that you're deepening that relationship with spirit because I just think it's so, so important for light leaders. And it's been a really beautiful journey watching you step into someone who is quite spirit led as well. What I really loved about when we worked together is you were someone who, when spirit said, do this, like you just fucking did it. There was no hesitation. There was no, uh, mm, and it just like, and I think you're just like that in life. Like that's just how you operate. Like when you get the download, when you get the nudge, when like you're like, that's the thing that I have to do, you take the action. And I think that's responsible for so much of your success. It's like there's no time delay. You're just like, get the thing done, right? Download comes, be like, how's that going? You're like, oh, I already built out the whole entire course. I'm ready to launch it today, like within 24 hours. And I'll be like, okay, great. Um, and I remember one of the biggest moments that we had because for those of you who don't know, Alex has created the most incredible manifestation movie ever. Like, let me tell you, my mom is obsessed with The Secret, right? Like, she watched that movie so many times. Like, she made me watch it when I was young, obsessed with The Secret. Anyway, as soon as Alex's movie came out, my mom like watched it once, then she watched it again. Then a week later, she's like, I'm watching it again. She was like, it's so amazing. I love it so much. And she was giving me so much feedback. She's like, so much better than The Secret. Um, but it's just the most incredible manifestation, like holistic manifestation film. So I highly recommend for those who haven't seen it to go watch it because it truly is amazing. But this was actually a download that came from Alex's spirit guides, and I remember we were sitting together in Gold Coast before a VIP day, and I was channeling Alex's spirit guides, and I was asking them, okay, what does Alex need to know today? And they said, she's gonna make a movie. And I, at the time, like Alex wasn't making movies, right? Like imagine you're working with a coach and you're like, a movie, sorry. And I was like, oh. And in my head, I'm like, he's either gonna fire me Or like I would just honestly thought that you were like gonna be like, okay, Athena, cool. Like, but I was like, okay, my job is the messenger here, right? So I'll give it to you. Lucky for me, Alex was like, yeah, fuck yeah. And she was like so into it. And she like it totally lit her up, activated. And then like within what, like 9 months, she made a whole damn movie, which is wild. And like I had like high expectations because it's Alex. But I remember being in the cinema watching that film at the premiere and looking at it going, I I actually cannot fathom. I cannot under. It's quantum time, right? Like it's transcending human. How someone can make a movie this good in 9 months? Like what? So it totally blew all of my expectations out. But I think one of the beautiful things about Alex is I see her as someone who is very, very spirit led and soul aligned. You are someone that is constantly listening and following those downloads and just taking, not hesitating, not overthinking. You have a deep level of trust for this connection to your divinity. And I really think that is something that just makes you someone who is able to have these big moves so fast.
Yeah, I mean, thank you. And, full transparency, sometimes my human hates my soul. Sometimes my human hates my team because I can't deny when the truth comes in, whether it's personal or professional. And sometimes my human has to catch up to the knowing and the decisions that I've made.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, of course, it means faster progress. Mix that up with being an Aries, mix that up with being a Manny-Gen. I mean, it's a lethal and beautiful combination, and I wouldn't have it any other way. It's just my life is quantum speed, and sometimes it's scary.
It
But,
is.
I always stand for courage,
Yeah.
and I feel like too many people stay in shitty situations or crappy jobs or crappy financial situations or don't launch the things or don't write that book and don't do anything because they're constantly waiting for this perceived future of when they'll be ready. And the reality is you'll never fucking be ready. So, yeah.
Exactly. I love that. And I think, we get that kind of download, and our soul is like, okay, we need to be aware of this. We need to come into alignment with it. And our human mind starts questioning time, like, when are you ready? When are you ready? But the reality is, when we get the download, when we get the nudge, that's when we're ready. Um,
Yeah.
our human mind is like, well, I'm not ready. I'm not worthy. I'm not safe. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. All the stories, because it is scary to live in such a, I think it's like fifth dimensional living in business where you're just like, oh, there's no time and space between a soul download and doing the thing, right? It's like collapsing that time, which is allows you to have those quantum leaps that you do have.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that I take fifth dimensional action. I'm living in,
you
I have
certainly
fifth
do.
dimensional business decisions, fifth dimensional business and personal decisions.
A
Oh,
100%.
oh.
100%.
Yeah, yeah.
100%. And for those of you who are like, ooh, like this is all landing and tickling your soul right now, just so you know, Alex and I are going to be in Dubai in 3 weeks. We're filming this today, so it might be less than less than that by
It's
the
the
time it comes out.
6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th of March. So whenever that is.
Yeah, beautiful. So we're going to be in Dubai together for Alex's Mission and Million Mastermind, which is actually a mastermind that we channel through together. It came from Spirit, and Alex created this beautiful, incredible mastermind that actually I joined. I scaled to 7 figures in it, and then I was like, I fucking love this mastermind. I met my best friends in it. I made so much money from this mastermind. I want to be a part of it. And so now I am, and I run monthly calls in it. I've got a whole day in Dubai. I did a whole day in, where did we go last? Fiji,
Yep.
where we do all like the energetic spirituality of business. And then there's 3 more incredible days. It's just incredible. I don't think anything like it exists. Like I've been to other masterminds and like loved all of my other coaches and like that I've been and worked with. But like this, that level of catering it to light leadership, like it just knocks everything else out of the park.
Yeah. So if you're listening to
Yay.
this and you're like, "Oh, I want to be around other light leaders in Dubai," then I don't typically do this, but I am selling the retreat separately. So if you want to come in and have a taste of the 4 days with us and see what it's like and see if it's your vibe and you're ready for a full quantum business upgrade, then I'd say reach out to Athina or me and come join. Spontaneous travel, spontaneous quantum decision. If your soul's saying yes, come do it. I've got 2 spots left.
Yes, and this is literally how I came into Alex's world. She was doing a 3-day event, 2-day event, I can't remember. And I just got the email and I looked at it and Spirit was like, yes. And I was like, okay, great. So, and then here we are 2 years later, just that one single spirit led decision, like how much it has done and opened up for me. So, if you're getting the download, take the action. Okay, so we're going to get into some channeling because that's what the focus is. That's what I really want to dive and delve into. So, like I said before, we're going to be connecting to Alex's Lyran council that she works with, the Lyran Tribe of Elders. So that is connected to her soul family, right? Because your higher self has these different evolutions, these different variations, and a higher level of her higher self is connected to her soul family, which is connected to Lyran Tribe, Lyran Council that is connected to her. I've channeled this group for her many times. They're very intensely in her energy field, like to the point where when I came to see her at the business event, I was like, whoa, hello. Like, and I'm clairvoyant, obviously, but it's not always that I see someone's spiritual team like that intensely. And to be fair, it might have been because they knew that I had the contract to channel them, but still, like, they're so strongly in her field that even those of you who have worked with Alex, you might also be perceiving them and feeling their energy because it is very strong. So, we are going to get into it. For those of you who don't understand what trance channeling is or have never seen me trance channel, basically it is where my conscious mind separates from my body and I allow myself, my voice to be a vessel for the divine, for higher spiritual beings to come through and speak through me. So rather than me being like, okay, Lyran Tribe of Elders saying da 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 da, they'll just speak directly through me. It takes me a couple of minutes to drop into a deeper trance state where I can create the dissociation between my conscious and subconscious mind. So I'll be silent for a couple of minutes as I'm getting ready and prepared. By the way, for everyone listening as well, all of these steps that you see me doing, like I teach this in Channeling Spirit Academy. This is something that you can actually learn, and I have taught many, many students to do this. So if you're like, okay, this is cool, I want to learn how to do this, I do teach it. So I'll be silent for a couple of minutes, connect, bring them in, and then it's full surrender, whatever they want to share, whatever they want to bring through. I already had a chat to them this morning. They're excited about having an audience because it's always been like just me channeling them for Alex. And now they're like, oh, we get Alex and an audience. Yay. So I
Nice.
feel like the message that they're going to bring in, it's going to be for everybody who's listening, not just for Alex. And then Alex might ask questions that are more specific to her, but
Nice.
it always resonates on a larger scale.
Nice.
Um, any questions, comments before we get started?
No, babes. Let's rock and roll. Let's play. Let's have fun.
Amazing. All right. So, Alex, I'll invite you to close your eyes for a minute as well and just take a couple of deep breaths in and just set the intention to call in your Lyrian guides. So, co creating this process as well with us today. And I'm going to begin to connect them now. Hello to each and all of you today. We are supremely blessed and in joy to be in connection with you in this forum today. It is a prosperous time for humanity on Earth. And in understanding that there are many, many, many timelines and realities that are simultaneously in existence on your planet, and understanding how to move between them and even select them. There has, not for a very long time on your planet, been moments where you are able to choose timelines in the way that you are now. This is because of the dimensional shifting that is occurring. And as your higher dimensional bodies are more anchored into your physical plane of existence through your physical body, it makes a selection and the ability to travel through timelines, through parallel realities, easier and faster. Which also means that as you observe what is occurring in your world, you must be in understanding that although you are witnessing it, it may not be on your timeline. Understand it is like viewing it through a television screen. You can have a look at what is on the other channels, but perhaps you may not enjoy the horror movie that is on, so you might select another channel. Maybe you don't feel like the reality TV show, so you flick another channel. Or you may simply just turn off the television. That is what is in occurrence in your planet right now at this time. The opportunity to, as a learning experience, view other timelines that are in existence. It is not a direct reflection of you simply by being in awareness that something else or a different timeline is in existence on your planet. If your lived experience is very and vastly different, that is already signifying that you are on a different timeline. But in this time of transcendence, in this time of dimensional shifting, there is a period of time that you are now in, which is what we will refer to as a time of observance, meaning you are existing in a different timeline whilst being able to also view other timelines that are active for others on your planet. It is very exciting because you are able to learn and make not choices through this observation. To observe someone who is having a experience of density and fear on your planet and to say, not. I choose not. This is not the experience I choose to have. And be in awareness and witnessing and understand that that is an experience they are choosing. And it is not for you to govern or force, and rather to focus on the timeline you wish to hold and you wish to embody, and understand that the more that you hold and embody a higher timeline and choose and continuously choose to hold and embody a higher timeline, you are elevating the timelines for all others and making the availability of higher timelines more available for everyone else so that they may be able to choose these higher timelines with more ease and more speed. It is so very exciting. And now we would like to answer a question which you may be having, which is, how can we choose these timelines? Understand that your way of being is your choice. Your way of being every single day is a choice. This is our work that we are bringing through our soul family connection. Alex and her work in her manifestation, in her co creation, in her vibrational teachings is precisely this. The purpose of manifestation is not to bring something out of nothing, but rather to align yourself to a timeline where it is already in existence. And that is done through a choosing. The choice does not come from how you would make a third dimensional choosing. Rather, it comes from changing your state of being. It can begin with a simple declaration, of what you are deciding not to experience anymore and what you must and only will decide to experience from now on. However, it requires a continuous dedication to your new vibrational self, your state of being, who you are becoming, so that you may align and connect with these new higher timelines. And every single day, every single moment, higher and higher, 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 higher timelines are expanding and opening for all of humanity. It is such an exciting time. So whilst you may observe and witness those who are continuously working on their vibrational nature and vibrational self to choose and exist in higher timelines, because just as you may observe someone who is in a lower density timeline, you are also an observation of those who are in higher timelines than you are. That is the beauty of the experience you are right now moving through on Earth. It is so exciting. So you have the opportunity to witness those in higher timelines and lower timelines. And as there are those in higher timelines, they are also constantly, simply by choosing a higher timeline, opening up another higher timeline and another higher timeline and higher and higher and higher and higher. And it is ever expanding, and it is oh so exciting. As these higher timelines open, there is more choices and more opportunity and more availability. And so there is more opportunity to expand your vibrational self. Right now, in this point of transcendence, in this state of time where there is observation of timelines that is occurring on your planet, there is no single thing more important to you, to your development, to the state and future of humanity and Earth than your vibrational self. We repeat, there is no such thing that is more important than your vibrational self at this time on Earth. You must understand that your vibrational self is a full reflection of the state of your being, your connection to your soul, to the higher realms, your connection to your purpose, your emotional, mental, physical health. It is a reflection of your ability to live in your heart, to be of service to humanity. And it is also the highest indicator of which timeline you are choosing, which timelines you will be connected to, and the future timelines on Earth. These timelines that you live in are not existing in a vacuum. There will be an eventual separation between the timelines, meaning that you will not be able to observe those in higher or lower timelines permanently. This is a period of time that you are in as an earth being right now. You are in a time of observation where you witness and see, but there will come a time where there will be a separation, where these realities, these parallel realities, will not be in observance of each other. They will simply be in a state of physical separation to each other. And you will not be able to tune in the same way that you are right now to lower dimensional and higher dimensional timelines and view them. Your viewing platforms that many of you use right now are social media. And as you browse on the channels of timelines that is available for you, you may not be aware of it, but you may be unconsciously connecting to lower timelines through your observation and viewing. As you scroll through your social media and you come across someone who is in a lower dimensional, lower frequency timeline, and you observe them, perhaps with a sense of curiosity or even amusement or pity, you are adding energy to their timeline. It is important for you to become aware and observe as you look through your social media. This person is not on the same timeline that I am on. That is their choice, and I choose not to be aligned with this. Thank you for showing me what is available for me, and I choose not this. And you can simultaneously tune into those who are on higher timelines. As part of Alex's soul mission and purpose here, it is to be a demonstration to humanity of living and embodying higher timelines and continuously making more and more higher timelines available for humanity. It is a part of her purpose here and her soul's expression. It is why her commitment to her vibrational self is so very important, because as she is in this commitment to her vibrational self, she is always evolving and growing and reaching a higher vibrational set point for herself. And in this way is opening and opening higher and higher timelines that she then embodies. And then she shares this timeline on her social media for all of you to witness, observe, and say, this seems like a nicer timeline. Perhaps I will choose this instead. And you can observe and witness and say, I wish to choose this higher timeline. Thank you very much. And begin the vibrational work that will align you with that higher timeline. So, in your choosing of a higher timeline, it is all reflectant and dependent on your vibrational nature. All of the teachings, all of the work, all of the embodiment that Alex is bringing to humanity at its core, at its true essence, the purpose is to bring you into a higher vibrational state of being where you are in alignment with higher timelines, where there is no scarcity, no lack, no fear. And to hold these timelines, to create more of these timelines for Earth, to create the ultimate shifting in this very exciting time on Earth for you right now, and all of these timelines that are opening up. You are in a state where you can be opening higher and higher and higher and higher timelines to create more for humanity. This is a part of Alex's work and what she is demonstrating and holding for humanity. And so the vibrational work is so very important. Yet we want to be in clarity with you and explain to you that simply choosing to, for a moment, close your eyes and perhaps think about a pleasant memory, which brings you a temporary spark of joy, may elevate your frequency, your vibrational state for a moment. To continue to do a practice like this every day will elevate it for a moment every single day. Yes, that is beneficial. But is it fundamentally changing your vibrational state to align with higher timelines and higher timelines? No, it is not. And this is what we wish to share with you as our core message and the core understanding, which is a part of the mission of the work that Alex is doing and sharing with humanity at this time. To shift the vibrational self in such a way that you begin to embody a higher timeline where you experience joy, abundance, alignment, synchronicity, ease, no matter what you observe on any of the channels that are currently in existence on your earth plane. You are simply embodying and in experience of a higher timeline. Becomes an experience you can have when you fundamentally and fully change your vibrational nature. This is done through a myriad of ways. It is a holistic occurrence that must unfold, meaning you must address your emotional health, your physical health, your mental health, your spiritual health. All of these parts must be moved through and shifted, because what is anchoring you to the lower timelines, what is keeping you in alignment with them, that even though you may close your eyes and focus on a pleasant memory, may temporarily raise and spark your frequency, it then returns back to a lower timeline because you have emotional, what you refer to as triggers that are connected to memories where there is unprocessed emotions and pain and perceived suffering. And so, no matter how much you focus on being in a vibrational state of joy, if these are not processed and brought to your awareness, you keep returning. If you are not addressing the limiting programming, the belief systems, the relationship that you have to yourself, as Alex refers to as your self-concepting, concepting processes that change the identity of yourself and how you relate to yourself, you will keep returning to your lower timelines. If you are not addressing the light in your physical body that expands through movement, through sunshine, through oxygen, You keep returning to lower timelines. And if you are not addressing your spiritual nature to work with your energy body to receive the activations that are available for you at this time, to continue to raise your energetic state to match the timelines that are available through these activations, through these energetic transmissions, you keep returning. Now, once you move through the process of holistically shifting along all of your energetic bodies, and then you devote yourself to a practice of vibrational shifting throughout the day, multiple times each day, continuously returning over and over and over again throughout the day, not just once, not just in the morning, not just in the evening, not just twice, not just 3 times, but continuously throughout the day, returning and saying to yourself, in this moment, I must choose a different higher timeline. And you coming back and coming back and coming back. We are in awareness that this is what Alex has created as part of her vibrational and manifestation programs. For the purpose of manifestation is to choose a reality that is different to the one that you are experiencing. You do this through a vibrational shifting that allows you to move into a higher timeline where this is already in existence. And you do this not simply by once during the day tuning into a different vibrational state, but rather to be in a state of commitment to your vibrational nature, as it is the single most important thing for you to be in awareness of. Where is my vibrational state? What is my vibrational well-being? Where is my vibration right now? How and where is it aligning me to? What is my state of being? Which all relates to your vibrational health and all the resources that we have brought through, all the teachings that we have brought through, Alex, to share with humanity, are all at their essence in reflection to this, in coming into perfect and aligned vibrational health to move you into higher timelines and higher and higher and higher and higher timelines, because the journeying does not stop. As you are in observance of Alex's reality and the life you are living, you may observe, ooh, such abundance, such joy, such alignment. Wouldn't that be lovely to experience? And yes, it would be lovely. And also, there are higher and higher and higher timelines that are constantly opening up for Alex. And she is constantly in choosing them because she understands she is not to stay stagnant on the current timeline she is in. And each time she reaches a new timeline opens up for her that seems closer and more exciting and more aligned to her highest expression. And she desires to move into it. And this desire, which so often and far too often humans suppress and criticize and question, her desire to experience more of her vibrational self, more of her soul expression, more joy, more abundance, more expression, this desire that she does not shut down, that she acknowledges and embodies and follows, allows her to expand, to find the places in her emotional, physical, mental, spiritual bodies that are not aligned with higher timelines, to do the work. A wonderful human phrase that is apt in this scenario: to do the work, to then move into a higher dimensional realm, a higher timeline, and choose that timeline. And then the process begins again and again and again. And so, as you observe that she is on a higher timeline, before you know it, she moves to another higher timeline and another higher timeline, because as one moves through higher and higher timelines, time also speeds up. There is a lesser attachment to third dimensional rules of time. And so you are operating in what we may refer to as quantum time, where there is less of the physical effort, physical action that is needed, because you are far closer and an embodiment of a higher vibrational state and nature. These higher timelines also come with a higher responsibility, meaning that as you are in co-creation with higher timelines for yourself, you are also simultaneously co-creating them for everyone else. If you co-create a lower timeline, you are making that available to everyone else. When you co-create a higher timeline, you are making that timeline available for everyone else. So there is a sense of responsibility that comes with your manifestation and your choosing. It is why we once again say to you that your vibrational state, your vibrational self, is the most important thing for you to be focused on at this time on earth in your expression, because it is not just for you. It is not just about you. It is for everyone on earth, and it is for earth herself. It is for all of us who are in observance of your planet and what is currently being experienced on there. So these higher timelines are opening and opening and opening for you to experience them more and more and more. And as you witness Alex moving through them, she will move through them faster and faster and faster to hold more and more timelines open and available to everyone else. Because as she dedicates to herself to her practices and her teachings, you will observe how it shifts her to higher timelines that are available. At this time, we would like to now open up to any questions that you may be having for us, Alex.
Mm. Um, First, I want to say thank you for this transmission. Um, just like landing even deeper. And I love the I'm creating higher timelines for not just for myself, but I'm showing what's possible. So I'm creating it for humanity, which is really beautiful. I guess my question is
Your entire
with
existence is here for humanity. You are an expression and an embodiment for humanity. All those who are on the path of what you refer to lovingly as light leadership are to be examples for humanity. All of those of you who are listening, your role, your job is to be an example for humanity. You are showing all those who are tuning into their television sets to see what other timelines are available. You are saying, hello, dear humans, you can also be on this higher timeline. See me living it, see me being in it, see what this timeline looks like. You can also choose it. Now, many of those who observe you living in these higher timelines will project with their lower vibrational emotional bodies feelings of inadequacy, insecurity, unworthiness, and jealousy as well. That is part of the experience. But understand that regardless of what emotional experience they have, you have assisted them in their development just by being in full expression, full embodiment, and demonstrating to them what is possible. It is creating a trigger for them that opens up more of a potential for them to move into higher timelines. It is a service. So, yes, you are here to be of example, and it is part of your divine service to humanity.
mm, thank you. Yes, love this. I always say to myself every day, I choose to give up difficulty so that I can be a living example for what humanity can be. So, love this. Talking of higher timelines, my question is this is the first year in a few years now that I haven't had the, I guess, specific guidance through Athena of what projects are in my highest alignment. And this year feels very open for me. Like I could write my book, I could run a huge 1,000 person event, I could create another movie. There are so many projects that I could do. At the moment, I'm just enjoying the flow and the prosperity that this movie is creating for me. And I definitely have in the works creating a um, 5D rap album, which is like conscious music with music videos, which I'm very excited about. So I know, like, following my highest excitement, that feels in alignment. But I wanted to ask, is there anything that is obvious that's coming through that I should have in my peripheral for creating this year? Or do I just go with the flow and trust my intuition?
We refer to you again to the concept of the quantum time and the higher timelines that you are now embodying. As you are aware, you recently went through another shifting to a higher timeline. And so you are in a vibrational state that feels higher and more aligned, and it feels anchored and embodied. Because when a person begins to choose a higher timeline through their vibrational embodiment, it doesn't always happen all at once. Oftentimes, they will tiptoe between one timeline and the other, feeling like half of the day they're in one, half of the day they're in the other. And eventually they have the full jump into the higher timeline, which you have recently yourself experienced moving into a higher timeline, which, as you know, that also means that higher and higher and higher timelines become available to you, and you are able to demonstrate and be an example to humanity of what is available. Now, as you move into these higher timelines, like you have, it means you are shifting into more of this quantum time that we speak of. On these lower timelines that you are once in existence of, that you are once aligned with, there is more of a need for preparation, because many of your projects relied on human time, human effort, human action. And so there was more of a needing to prepare your mental body, your mental awareness, for you to take time and space to organize yourself, to come into a state of preparation to bring these projects through. But as you move into higher and higher and higher timelines, you will find that there is simply less. There is less needing to prepare you. There is less needing to bring to you preparations. You will find more and more and more and more that you will never go back to how it was. You will never go back to this long preparation. You will find yourself more and more being in a state of complete and total surrender, where you feel completely open, and then one morning or one day you wake up and you realize, this is a project I must fulfill today. It is coming through me so strong, and I cannot deny it, because the energy of it is present and the time is now. Not in a month, not in 6 months, not I must prepare for this. The time is now, because my soul is sharing with me and signaling to me that it must be shared now at this time. And so, because you are in a state where you do not require this human preparation anymore, which is a reflection of the new higher timeline that you are on, you are not needing these mental seeds that you were receiving prior on the lower timelines. So you are in a deeper state of surrender, and what can sometimes feel like uncertainty, but it is actually not uncertainty. It is divine surrender and absolute openness to what must flow through to you at the exact time. If you were to try and force this, you would create a disconnect between you and the timeline that you are on right now. You are, in fact, now showing what it is to be in a higher timeline, and to demonstrate and show this to all those humans who are in similar positions to yourself, that you may say to them, you are now in a state of preparation, where you prepare for the year, where you prepare your projects, but one day you will come into a state of absolute presence and divine surrender, where you will be in a state of openness and receiving when it is time to receive, and it is perfect, and my abundance is growing and growing, and the projects feel easier and more fun and more fulfilling, and I am simply in a state of surrender. I do not need to tie myself to these human concepts of having to plan and organize and even sit with a idea or project. It simply comes through, and I allow it to move through me. There is less time. It is simply moving through at the speed of quantum time. You are already in awareness, as you have already received them, many of the projects that will unfold this year. They are all there for you, and we can repeat them to you to bring awareness, but the when will not land, because you are living in quantum time, meaning you are living in perfect time. For when they will be required to come through, you will receive them and begin to be able to move through them perfectly. You are to facilitate an incredible, life-changing, vibrational, expanding event that will be the biggest event you have yet run. This is very important for you, and you are hearing us use words that are tied to certainty. You must, you will, as if it is set in stone, because it is set in stone in a way, because there are far too many contracts that are dependent on that event. There are far too many activations that will occur for other souls and other light leaders that are dependent on that event. And we are in understanding that when you receive this, you will move forward with it. So we say you will run this event because we know that you are in a state of surrendering, receiving, and as the energy comes through and lands for you, you will take action on it. And it will be a very large event that will have a very significant impact and vibrational effect specifically on the part of the world where you choose to run and host this event. It will be a very important event that will trigger awakening and activation for many of those who attend. And there are many soul contracts aligned to receive that work from you that day that will then lead to many ever expanding vibrational shifting events that open higher and higher timelines. It is very important. That is why we use such concrete words. There are also projects and openings around you creating a book, you creating art through the expression of your voice. There is also potential and opening around creating more of your films. There are other potentials for smaller projects that relate to courses and also experiential courses that are tied to not just you, but for others, collaborations of sorts. These are all in opening and in alignment with you, along with more physical in person events that are tied to other retreats and other physical experiences that are in alignment with you for the next 12 months. You may feel all the energy of them already. And when it is a perfect time for the perfect expression of it, you will simply know. And when it lands for you, this perfect aligned timing, you will begin to take action with it immediately because the time is then. The time is now when you receive it. You will not need to plan for it. You are living in such a state of divine surrender and divine alignment that your schedule, that everything you have planned will be perfectly aligned to be open to receive and spend time and energy creating this project as you receive it. There is no need for planning in the state that you are in because divine planning has already occurred. And you are living in such a state of surrender that you are letting the higher aspects of yourself plan for you rather than your mind and your mental body plan for you. Is this a concept you are understanding as we describe it to you?
Yes, totally love this and resonates so deeply because I feel like I'm on a timeline right now where when it's almost like I just wake up and it's like, boof, it's a knowing, it's now. And like in that knowing and in that morning, I'll just know who to reach out to and what to do. And things just happen so fast. So this is making complete sense. I have another
And we would
question.
like
And
to inform you here with this as well that this will only accelerate. As you are now living in the state, it will accelerate more and more and more and more, where you will find yourself one day in a timeline where you no longer need to reach out to the person. You will think of the person and they will reach out to you. And sometimes you will not even have to think of the person. It will be anticipated for you. They will receive it and they will connect to you. This is the synchronistic living experience that happens as you move into higher and higher timelines. What you are experiencing now, you will experience tenfold in future higher timelines that you will continue to choose to embody because you understand that your vibrational self is of vital importance. And so you are in a state of dedication and commitment to being a higher vibrational expression each and every day. And as you are already in awareness, it does not always instantaneously change, but there is a compound effect that sometimes may take a day, a week, a month, sometimes many months. But you are in observation, understanding, and the living example that it always appears and it follows the divine timing as well that must occur.
yes, yes, that resonates so deeply. I have a question in regards to a decision I made that's quite personal recently. And I guess living in quantum time, being so connected with the whispers of my soul and you guys and my heart and my truth, I am left feeling like my human is catching up with the decision I made um, about 2 weeks ago. And it's created a huge life shift and put me in a massive grief portal. And I feel like I'm coming through it, but I guess I'm still in my head. It's like there's times where I trust and I know the truth of this. And then there's other parts of me that feels like, what have I done? Have I, like, so I guess, is there any messages that you have to share with me? I feel like last week I was going a bit crazy. Like, have I made the right decision? Um, yeah, any guidance around this, please?
We understand you are in a state of connecting to what you understand as a state of soul truth, and then also a separation from that. As we shared with you prior, there is states of being and things that you may retain within yourself that connect you into lower timelines. This is what is unfolding for you right now. As a journey with shifting into higher timelines and focusing on your vibrational self, there is healing that occurs on all different levels. Right now, in your emotional body, there is a significant amount of trapped fear. The experiences and uncertainty and not knowing that you are experiencing are all tied to energy around fear, tapped into previous experiences that you have had in your life. This fear is creating uncertainty and unknowing, which is forcing you to have to be in a state that is not fully aligned and to question yourself. It is less about the decision that is made and more about being in a state of full alignment. Right now, the priority is for you to work through this fear, to find it, understand the stories that it is telling you. It is not tied into your mental body. It is tied into your emotional body. It is repressed and suppressed emotions that are creating this vortex and energy of fear that is telling stories that is causing you to question and be in a state of uncertainty. Two, confront, acknowledge, and move through this fear to unsuppress the suppressed emotions that are tied to previous life experiences will alleviate and release the fear, and you will find yourself in a state of relief and deeper knowing. In fact, it is hard to be in a state of unconditional knowing, unconditional certainty, when fear is bringing you into a state of uncertainty. This is the priority for you in coming into a state of divine and perfect knowing.
Mm, yeah. Yeah, and I can
We are
definitely feel.
perceiving this fear as a somewhat of an energetic vortex that is in existence around your heart chakra. And this energetic vortex has direct cords and ties to lower timelines and previous life experiences. There is an energetic aspect of this. It is something you can move through on your own, and you can tune into your own energetic body to observe this vortex and the cords that are formed that are connecting you into this. And as you move through the fear and release these life experiences through emotional releases, through observing the stories, you will also notice that energetically these cords close and these vortexes of fear around your heart also close. It is a wonderful opportunity as it will allow you to then raise and open your heart deeper and also to step into deeper divine knowing, divine certainty, and step deeper and higher into the timeline that you are on. It is a wonderful and exciting opportunity for you.
Yeah, and I definitely feel the grief portal I went through last week, the deeper I went into really being with the fear, the sadness, the loneliness, the emptiness, the void. It like every time I went deep in it and fully embraced it and was present with those emotions, it was like a quantum shift in my body, in my being, in my vibrational state. So I definitely resonate with that. Um, yeah, I think sometimes it just my human it just there's so much changes in my life, and I was like, we were happy, and now there's another big change in my life, and I'm like, oh, it's just a lot sometimes.
Your emotional body will catch up to the quantum time. As you process and move through this opportunity to release the emotions that are trapped, and primarily it is the fear. The fear ties into other emotional experiences, but it is the fear. As you process and move through the energy of fear, it will allow your emotional body to catch up with the vibration you are currently in and the higher timeline, where you will need less time and space to process. And you will find yourself processing faster and faster and faster. And part of the gifting of your soul's exchange is for your emotional body to be a higher match for this timeline. In the past, it is your emotional body that has slowed you down through shifting into higher timelines. This is an opportunity for you to learn how to faster and faster release the emotions that are trapped so that you are open to moving into higher and higher and higher timelines. Right now, it is your emotional body that is the primary disconnect, stopping you from shifting into a higher timeline. So, by being in observance, allowing the emotion to move through and releasing it, and most importantly, to become fully aware of the story that this emotional aspect of you is telling you, you can release it and then move through. There is still a part that is in belief that it takes time, and yet it doesn't. That is a human story. You can release it and be in a state of gratitude and love and joy for the experience, however, it is being experienced, as long as the emotion is fully expressed. This is an important part of your vibrational shifting and your vibrational nature to align you to higher timelines.
Beautiful. Awesome. I have one more question. Um, Speaking of quantum time, my knowing download and just visions of me being on New Earth Island where visionaries and light leaders come, my part-time home. Do you have anything to share about that at all?
You are in a state now of beginning to receive and open up to higher and higher timelines. As you create an opening for a higher timeline, you begin to receive images and potentials. These potentials are gifted to you to inspire you, to bring you forward and to move you into a state of inspiration and excitement. This is where you are at this time. It will unfold as it needs to. In truth, there is nothing that you need to know about it. Simply, it is understanding of what you already know to be true, of what you are here to teach and share with humanity, of that which you impart to all those who work with you, that you must become the vibrational self that is a match for that timeline, for that experience. And through your commitment to your vibrational self, your vibrational nature, to keep returning to your practices, to your teachings, to what you receive from us, you become aligned to this timeline. And to be surrendered to that you are now in quantum time. So, whilst it may seem far, it may not be far at all. It is an opportunity for deeper surrender. There is no conscious knowing that you must be aware of, rather, to simply be in the state of surrender that you are in. We are now at a place where we would choose to close this transmission as we are complete with what we have wanted to share with you. We give thanks for this opportunity of co creation to share with you and to have our message and our work shared with the world. It is an incredibly prosperous and exciting time for humanity when you can see and observe all the timelines that are available and open. There will not be a time like this on Earth again, but simply because you see a timeline in existence does not mean you have to choose it. But if you see it, you can choose it. How exciting! Goodbye. What? It's 11:11. Did they seriously stop at 11:11? Because they were saying to me when they got out, they were like, "Look at the time." So I was like, "Oh my god."
That is hilarious.
Thanks,
Wow.
guys. That was long. How you
Back,
feeling, babe? How's that
you
land for
were
you?
giving full, that was like full Bashar vibes. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, we've been like going hard with the channeling practice. Spirit has been teaching me, so it's like, whew, how much capacity? Oh, my capacity has expanded a lot. So
Yep.
yeah, my channelings have been going pretty intense. Yeah.
I love how direct and like intense it is. It's like, yeah, there's nothing soft or fluffy about your transferring. That was amazing.
Mm. Beautiful. How did the teachings that they shared resonate about like the timelines, the vibrational state? How did everything land for you?
Really cool. Like I literally was writing notes in my phone and I'm like, this is cool. I've heard different little nuances that I haven't heard before in a certain way that's just landing deeper for me.
Yeah.
And then I was almost like seeing all of my work and how they were sharing things. And I was like, oh, that's why I teach this and this. And I was just seeing all the tools and everything. It was so cool.
Yeah, and it's exciting actually. I love how excited they were about everything. They're like, it's so exciting. And I'm like, oh yeah, I guess it is. Um, but I love how they shared with like social media was like a TV to be able to see the different channels of timelines. I was like, oh my God, I never thought about that. And like that we can see it, but it doesn't mean we're on it. I was like, that's so cool that we're in that time. And I was like, I love that because it's like, when we see someone having a higher experience than us, then we get to potentially go, great, I want to be on that timeline versus someone else is having such a vastly different experience. Okay, that's not the timeline for me. I thought that was really cool.
And what's really cool as well is knowing that right now we're in a moment where we can move between them and select them and see others, but it's not always going to be like this, which actually aligns perfectly with the theory of the 3D and the 5D eventually splitting.
Yeah.
And we're in that period in the next 5, 10, 20 years where it's just doing that. It's like if we're not choosing our vibration right now, like we're fucked because that's literally going to determine the collective consciousness that we shift and what timeline we shift into. So it's like this is the most
Mm.
potent time where we need to be so precise with our focus and our vibration.
100%. And I love what they expanded on and kept bringing back to like your vibrational self. Your vibrational self is the most important thing because I think, and like that's what, obviously, they're your soul family. So you're connected to them, you're receiving them, but like that is your message. And just when they said that, I was thinking about you and all the practices that you do every single day. And you're like, every time you're like, you slow down with it, you're like, oh my God, I have to be in it. Like I have to be committed to it. Like because it's the thing, right? Like it's the thing, and I feel like that's what they were really hitting on.
Yeah. Love. Awesome. Love it, babe. That was
Beautiful. All
awesome. That
right.
was epic. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Alex. So I'm just thinking, is there anything else? No. Well, thank you so much, Alex, for coming on here, for allowing me to trans channel for you. For those of you who are like, I need to shift into my vibrational self, into a higher timeline, go follow Alex. I'll put all her links down below. If you're wanting to learn how I did what I just did, you can also check out Channeling Spirit Academy. I'll put the links down below for that as well. And thank you so much, Alex, for being here, for allowing us to connect with your team and for them to share this beautiful message, which has been really, even for me, so insightful. I'm going to go tell Daryl all the cool information now. And yeah, sending you lots of love. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you, beautiful. It's been a pleasure. That was a lot of fun. And I hope everyone got heaps of value from it. You're amazing.